Yo, what's up guys? New video, a dungeon video. It's been a while since I made some dungeon videos. Most of the dungeon videos are kind of on the limit of their teams already, and it's not really improving that much or anything, but there is one more that I want to make tomorrow, and there is this one which is an upgrade of the team with the Lucas. So this is, I think, the fastest team possible for NB12 at this moment, even including like every LD5 you could get, or LD4, everything. Most LD5s are not even that good, but whatever. But as you have seen in the thumbnail, this team managed to get a sub 30-second average of 10, which I think is one of the first, if not the first, sub average of 10 for B12 runs in general. If there are any teams out there, please put them in the comments, link me to that stuff. I would highly like to see it. But this team is insanely crazy. So I'm gonna show you a few runs and then tell you why it works, how it works, what are the problem things, because there are some things, there's still a little bit RNG to it, because Lucas is kind of derpy on not using his S2. The main thing about Lucas is he will use his S2 into S1. I already made a video about this before, but I missed out a few key things, so therefore I'm remaking this video. So what is the thing with this team? You're probably not gonna make it. You are probably not gonna be able to make it because this is very, very end game. I'll link in the description down below. I'll link a team which you are probably wanting to make, which is a lot easier than this. But this is in general very difficult to make. You need a crazy Julie, and on top of that, 5 Tricarus, a lot of 5 Tricarus. You need a shield set on one of the Tricarus, and you need a pretty nice Lucas as well. If Lucas actually does his S2 below 50% HP, he gets another turn for the S1, and that makes this run very, very fast, as you could have seen here. Also, the fastest time on this dungeon for me is with this team, so technically you can get a faster run, sure thing, but it's for me all about the average of 10, actually the average of 100 or average of 1000. And I think this team is by far the fastest for that, because you got boop, boop, double hit, and you got a lot of damage. Then the issue is, which makes this team a lot faster, if the first, or no wait, if the second and the third Ikaru team up with the first Ikaru will always have his team up back again. Which is not that likely because you have 5 units, so I'm not even sure what the odds are of that. You can figure that out. But if that happens, you get a lot faster run, because you then, after the death of the boss, the first death, they immediately start going for the team up again. And let's see if that happens here. So I'm not even sure who's the first Rikaru. Also, if Lucas doesn't do his S2, he doesn't kill. But Julie it actually happened there, because the first Rikaru that went for the second skill actually started with a team up. But then the next also have to cycle, so you still need more than just that one cycle. Therefore, you get some slower runs. Okay, let's see how far are we for the runs we got so far. We got a 34, 34, 27, 29, 33, so we're not always getting the sub 30 runs. That is mainly because of Lucas derping. If Lucas wouldn't derp as much, it would be better. But is what it is. I did manage to get a sub 30 average of 10, which I think is very crazy. Still, come to us. Start making leaderboards for averages of 10. To be honest, no one really cares about someone getting a 13-second run if you take like 10,000 runs to actually manage to get that. At least in my opinion, but could be me. Let's look at the runes of these units. So to look at the runes, I'm just going to Arena. I think this is one of the easier showcases of the runes. We got a Julie with Rage Blade, quite a lot of attack, quite a lot of crit damage. For artifacts, we got additional damage from attack, some crit damage in there, and this one is pretty heavy on the additional damage for attack, and then still a little bit damage on dark. So this Julie already by itself is pretty crazy, right? Well, on top of that, you need a Ikaru with triple fight. Yes, we got enough defense while having the triple fight. You mainly manage to do that having a lot of additional flat defense stats. So every rune possible, this one is 51, this one is 58, this one is 51, this one is 54. All of the 4 runes possible with flat defense have flat defense. That's how you get these kind of runes. So in general, if you're having struggles with your Ikarus, check in if you can add the flat defenses. Then the second one we have, I cannot do this again. So I actually need to use some guard runes. And then the third one I have on shield, and shield is actually very important, which I will talk about in a second. But the shield runes are pretty carried on the 41-42 defense, which gives me some slack of not having to add in the flat defense on the fight runes, and therefore you can make it. So that's how big a difference you can see. Like, this is working on a 41 and a 42, whereas this Ikaru is, no wait, first Ikaru, where you at? First Ikaru is working on a 26 and a 32. So that's a really big difference simply by adding in the flat defense. So now let's look at the one and only, the Lucas. So first talking about Lucas. Lucas is max skilled right now, which I haven't had for quite a while. But I only have 59 crit rate. You only need 55 crit rate. This skill, the moment that Lucas has a shield, he gets a shield from his passive, but the moment he already has a shield, for shield runes for example, he gets 30 extra crit rate. So with that, you already have 30 extra crit rate, you have another 15 for hitting the correct element, and therefore you always have 100 crit rate. In the past, I had to use a fight plus accuracy or something, or fight accuracy Lucas, that's in my previous video, or at some point I could switch to a fight fatal Lucas, but I up my Julie a little bit and I can actually go for the full fatal broken, so I can add in a lot of crit damage, having 247 crit damage on a fatal build is pretty crazy. So you got 26, 26. This one doesn't, this one of course doesn't have any. 27, 22, and an 18. So that all does a lot of damage. Also, if Lucas goes for the S2, the moment the S2 hits below 50% HP, he goes for another S1. Lucas also on the team-ups with the Ikarus is going to get his attack buff from his passive on the S1. And Lucas has an attack power lead, it's only 25, but it's very good. For all of those reasons, Lucas is pretty much irreplaceable. Sure, you could do this with a Lucian and with a Julie and blah blah blah, but I want to have a most consistent, fast team there is, and the whole kit of Lucas just makes a lot of sense for doing this. So for that reason, I went in for the Lucas, and this team is working pretty well. What do we have for time? We got 31 seconds, a little bit more than what I would like to see. I like to see sub 30 seconds in general, but hey, is what it is. So this is pretty much the fastest team out there that there is going to be. Maybe there's a Lucas skin that is faster than this. I haven't really checked into that. Also for the wait, let me actually look at artifacts, because if you want to ruin this team, artifacts are actually very important, and I totally forgot about those. I already showed the artifacts for the Julie, so I'm not going over them. For Icarus on the left side, main thing you want to do is just additional damage from teaming up. Then on the right side, you probably want to focus on accuracy S1, because most of these Icarus, they're kind of weak, so accuracy S1, landing that armor break is the most important thing. The final boss has 69 resistance, so that minus 15, you're at 54 resistance to land everything. We're at 44 plus 11, 55, we're Gucci. How do I know that it's 69 and it's just an arbitrary number which is 69? No, you can actually, if you join my Discord on progression help, you have the pinned messages. You can scroll down there. I have all the stats of all of the bosses, so, or all of the dungeons there, so if you want to look that up. So all of my Icarus are actually adding in the accuracy on the S1. I have been farming quite a bit of PC10, so I could stack all of those. So all of them have that, still having additional damage together and that kind of stuff. But then looking at the Lucas, so what do you put on Lucas? Do you just put like extra crit rate, but you're using skill 1, skill 2? What do you go for? So on the left side, we have a pretty good artifact, which is damage on dark, dealing damage together, and single target crit damage. So the single target crit damage doesn't work for the team up, because it's only on your own turn. But the damage on dark speaks for itself, but the damage together is actually what makes this really good. And that's also what I noticed. I have a crit damage skill 1 24 slot here, but it was not half as good as having additional damage together here on the Lucas as well. Because the Lucas, the moment he does more damage while he's teaming up, The lower the HPs of the enemy, the more chance you have of getting into a perfect AI state of the enemy, and therefore just killing the boss, because he goes for perfect AI means that you will use your S2 or your higher like place skill. So with that said, that is it pretty much for this video. If you're gonna be like, yeah, but say I can't make this fucking team because it's freaking crazy OP runes. Yes, that's true, but maybe you can just learn a thing or two, or you can just see like, hey, what's absolute end game on this stuff, or just having some concepts of like, hey, how do I build teams? How do I revolve around? Okay, what works? Where do I look at? Those kind of things. Just my thought process in general. Hope you enjoyed that. If not, well, sucks to be you. You wasted a few minutes of your life you're never gonna get back. Ha! Well, either how, guys. Just joking. Please like this video, subscribe to the channel. Tomorrow is going to be a video which I think is a lot more interesting. I think it's tomorrow, the day after. It's going to be a lot more interesting for guides of dungeon teams, and it's focused on Icarus and it's focused on DB12. Everyone is running that. Everyone can make those. Well, pretty much most people can make those. But I think everyone can benefit from the things that I'm going to test tomorrow or the day after. So subscribe to the channel if you haven't. Like this video. Guys, see you on the next